You're listening to ArTEEtude, a podcast with artists created and produced by Detlef Schlich, a visual artist and ritual designer, living and loving in West Cork, and best known for his essay about the cause and effect of shamanism, art and digital culture. Working in the field of performance, photography, painting, sound, installations, and film, he will dive and discover with us and a weekly creative guest into the unknown and exciting deep ocean of the creative mind.
This is Detlef Schlich, and today we dive into the unexpected and exciting creative minds, the deep ocean of this creative mind, together with Joe Pickell. Hi, Joe.
Hello, Detlef.
Yeah, and today we're gonna try to discover a little bit more the connection. How is it as a writer and a drawer, comic drawer, and as a performer, the process to connect things like this. What happens? I mean, what happens when? And Joe, he has as well quite a lot of experience in stand-up comedy, and as well I saw some of his comic drawings. He just finished before his lecturing a children book, and he's gonna doing drawings for that as well, so it's quite exciting. So let's talk about that. And
what would you like to talk about?
The process between drawing and writing. So,
well, okay, I'll tell you how it is for me. Like, I was drawing for a very long time, and basically I've only ever drawn characters. So I always had in my mind that, these characters, but I never actually put them in like context, or, there was never any scenes. There was never like they were sitting on a couch. It was just a character floating in the air.
Yeah.
And I've never really gotten past that. But I finally discovered how to write for myself. It just kind of took years. But
yeah.
So the drawings that I have are kind of from the past. I haven't done a whole lot recently.
Yeah.
It's like I kind of use them as a guidepost for when I'm writing.
Okay.
More than anything else.
How do you call it? Gag post?
Gate post.
Geek post.
Gate.
Is it
like a gate that you come in and out of?
As it's like a bridge.
Yeah.
Like a connection. That's the German talk. We say Eselsbrücke, dear German listener. Eselsbrücke means the bridge of the monkey.
The bridge
of the donkey. Sorry.
Donkey.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So you use your drawings as information in order to create a story somehow, a character.
Well, it's more like, I had these characters in mind for years, and I wanted to write this book, but I was so into writing comedy and trying to get into stand-up comedy for so long that it was just kind of on the back burner. And it was only when I really stopped trying to do stand-up comedy that I really sat down and tried to write for kids. And it took a while, but I really got into it then after I took a week-long course from this woman who writes for young adult girls.
Yeah.
And she gave me just the pointers I needed to really get me started with writing proper stuff
for
comedy.
For children book, or
yeah.
All right, and that was a week course.
Yeah.
Intense every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and then you started to develop the story.
Yeah.
And did you use your older characters for it?
One of them's a character I came up with when I was about 10 years old.
Okay.
Which I only thought of that today. I thought, Jesus, I don't know how many people can say that.
That's interesting. So you developed your character after 38 years.
Yeah.
And was it still the same character, or did he?
Well, you know, the thing is, like, what was in my 10-year-old mind pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's even cooler in my 48-year-old mind,
Yeah.
even though it's for kids, because it's like
Yeah.
the evolution of this childhood idea to an adult idea for kids. It's
Sure. I mean,
to me, it's special, you know.
and did you, as you start to write it, did you had to research, or is it more
No.
just that it's
Pure imagination. I
yeah,
didn't research anything.
yeah,
No.
yeah. So it is that's not really a children's book, isn't it? There's for teenagers or what?
No, I'd say it's for everybody. But
Yeah,
I mean, I wrote it for people basically from the age of 8 to 12.
Yeah.
But I also wrote it with their parents in mind, reading it to
Yeah.
their kids, and just as an adult that they wanted to read it, because
Yeah.
I'm an adult by myself
Yeah.
writing this thing,
Yeah.
and I wanted to make it entertaining for myself. So it was.
No, right.
I think it's pretty much for everybody, you know.
It's-
but basically for kids.
I think it's nice as well, you know, to write something like, I think that's the reason why stories like Harry Potter and Princess of Narnia and all that became so popular, because
It
the
killed everyone.
children and parents
Yeah.
get connected somehow and could join this together.
Yeah.
So it is, yeah. So, do you have a title already for the book?
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now back to the
I
show.
think it's going to be called The Mythical Misfits.
The Mythical Misfits. All right. Where's it playing? In the
Where's it
Misfits land.
playing? Well, I don't want to give too much away
Yeah.
about it yet,
Yeah.
because it's still in the editing stages. My sister's editing it for me. But it takes place in 2 different worlds, and they're both wacky.
Yeah.
And yeah,
In 2 worlds.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. You got a couple.
Actually, I could tell you the names of the worlds. What the hell?
Yeah.
Ridiculi and Mythicadia are the 2 worlds.
Ridiculi
and Mythicadia.
and Mythicadia. So Ridiculi is probably from the world where people are ridiculous.
Yes, it's a very ridiculous place indeed.
And the Mythicadia is the world where people are more the mystical ones. And,
Well,
and
there's mythical. Well, they don't call them that. They call them magical creatures and monsters.
all right.
So there's magical creatures and monsters in Mythicadia, as well as a lot of humans.
All right.
But the humans aren't good in this story. They're bad, and they're in league with the dragons.
Okay. Now we have to take care that we don't give too much away, because
That's all I'm going to say.
yeah. I was,
That's a teaser for you folks. There's a teaser for you.
yeah.
Buy my book when it comes out. It's fantastic. Your kids will love it.
Get into the world with the Mysticadias and the Ridiculous.
You said it. You said it, brother.
Yeah, man. Cool. That sounds. That sounds. You got a few drawings with you. You know, you want to
Yeah.
show me. So.
You want to see them?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
like to see them. I mean, he has a couple of characters, 2 or 3, and I must say, I just had a short view on that,
Oh, here.
and I would like to see them. What I'm gonna do on a later stage, I'm gonna make photos of that, and I think these characters we can put into the visual ArTEEtude thing. No?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
If we're gonna make photos for that,
Sure.
that's lovely. So we have monsters there, no?
Yeah.
We
Plenty
got-
of monsters.
We got a couple of monsters there on the first image. On the second, we have more monsters, and on the third image, we have a wizard. I think it looks, and he has there some already characters and names and things. Wow, and I mean all this, it's lovely. It's lovely. I mean, we decided that we're not gonna show everything to the audience, but I give it back to you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
But
So there you have it.
but you
So what do you think? You think the kids will like those illustrations?
As I would say that they're very contemporary
Yeah.
illustrations. These illustrations are very contemporary. They're lovely.
Yeah. Thanks.
they're great. They're great. Yeah, I mean, and I think it is quite interesting. So did you try to put probably you put as well your talent as comedian into that as well, didn't you?
Yeah. I tried to make it as humorous as I could. Yeah. Actually, I could sum it up this way. Okay, it's a combination of Alice in Wonderland and Monty Python.
What's the second one?
Monty Python.
Monty Python.
Yeah, you mentioned
Flying
it earlier.
Circus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that kind of wacky, surrealistic stuff going on as well. The whole thing. Okay, I'll put it to you another way.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, I sent it to him, and he said it's kind of trippy, man. And he's an adult, so that's an adult. And then I sent it to another friend of mine. He has 3 kids, and he's reading it to his kids. He told me that his kids are hooked, and they can't get enough of it, man. So there's 2 different perspectives there, from the adult and the child perspective.
I mean, that's the good thing with children.
They
So they can live still in the world of fantasy without getting on acid. Now we have it as well again,
Exactly.
the second time. I had already the acid subject with David Seeger.
Yeah.
He used to be a teacher in Leeds in the 60s last century, and there was acid still legal, you know.
Right.
And that's I mentioned the acid test. You read the book, you know.
Yeah.
So,
right.
and
Very good book.
Tom
Wolfe.
Yeah.
Tom Read it. It's brilliant.
I put it again in the description. I mean, I already put it in David's description, but I still have to read that. Yeah. So that's quite interesting. So what I still find interesting, and I connect now to my last talk guest. That was Ray McKinley. She is a storyteller, a Scottish storyteller, and did her master in digital humanity and start. I mean, she is now in her 60s.
Digital humanity. What's that?
That's what is digital humanity. I think it's digital humanity. If
heard of it.
It is a master course in CIT, Cork's Institute of Technology, and I mean, it is about how you probably. I mean, I didn't do the course. How you can embrace our digital world, the digital revolution, in order to still keep it human somehow, you know, and not drifting away too far into this.
Did she have some idea of how to do that?
She's gonna drawing with a digital drawing board like Wacom, for instance, you know, and she's gonna she did a digital storytelling. That means she did a comic.
Oh yeah.
She was drawing a comic, a manga actually.
Cool.
And was actually digital. So that was her master degree artwork eventually. You know? So that's quite interesting.
Pretty interesting. Right?
And that's actually, I like things like this because, I mean, if we want it or not, we live in the 21st century, and we have to find ways to cope with that, you know. And I mean, if we want it like this to use this technology for the good, you know. So and I mean, I sometimes if people asking me, so what are you, you know, I call myself digital shaman, quasi shaman, because I use all this digital technology in order to create something good. I mean, even take the podcast, for instance, you know, this technology, you know, so you can shout out good ideas, you know, into the world. Everyone can hear it, and
there's no censorship.
Yeah, and in the best case scenario, so somebody who likes this stuff gets inspired as well, and even, I mean, for us artists to promote ourselves and to create a network, it's good. So so you did as well a stand-up comedian here in Ireland, didn't you?
I did it in Boston too.
You did it in Boston, and how old have you been in Boston?
How long was it? 7 years.
Okay.
I've been in Ireland for 10 years.
Yeah. So that was
or no, more. I don't know.
Longer.
Yeah. I don't know.
And in your 30s, you did the stand-up comedian. How long did you? 7 years in Boston. How was it?
Well, maybe I just remember it as 7 years. Maybe it was longer.
Maybe it was longer.
like I said, I don't have very good memories of the place, so,
so-
you know,
so-
I try to not to think about it very much.
Yeah. So how was your experience in Boston? I mean, did you so the audience, what was about the audience? How many people?
Well, no, it was nothing to do with the comedy. It was more personal circumstances. But I mean, as far as the comedy goes, I was trying to be edgy at the time, and I was full of like anger.
Yeah.
And I was friends with this guy. I worked at this place called Nick's Comedy Stop, you know. And if I wanted to really do it, I could have. But I had a lot of personal problems at the time, you know. So the times that I did perform over there, it was very angry shit. And
So
my boss at the time would be saying to me, like, God, you're angry, you know? And I'd be like, fuck off, you know? But he was right, like I was. But I couldn't see it at the time because I was just angry,
Sure.
you know?
Sure. So it
took
was
me a
very
while
punky.
Huh?
It was very punky, very,
Yeah, well,
very
I mean,
provoking.
It was provocative. Like I said things about the cast of Friends that, you know, because they made $1 million a week at the time, I thought that, they didn't deserve that, and I didn't say it in a very nice way. So it was shit like that, you know, and very like in your face. And
All right.
and what I found out later was that's not really me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
But at the time,
okay. I mean,
you know,
things
you go through things, you act a certain way, and you
absolutely
feel bad about it.
No.
afterwards.
I mean, things like this can happen. You know, I mean, you're not probably the first one who. I mean, I think every one of us knows situations like that. You know, it's just, I mean, a little bit awkward if you have your microphone and you're on the stage. It's a little.
But I mean, I'd like to go on to say that, you know, when I came back to Ireland,
Yeah.
my stand-up stuff got a lot more controlled
Yeah. No, I
because
saw.
I was more happy in my life.
Yeah.
And it wasn't coming out in the stuff I was saying on stage.
I
know what I
mean,
mean?
yeah. You.
And it was kind of, the only thing is that I wrote a lot of outrageous stuff over the years.
Yeah.
And as I got older, I stopped being so interested in outraging people.
Yeah.
So when I saw them being insulted or whatever because of something politically incorrect, I said I felt bad.
Yeah.
So that would just stop the show mid-flow, you know, because
Yeah,
I'd feel bad.
I know,
and people be like going, go on. And I'd just be like a lamb in the headlights.
Yeah.
Whatever, a rabbit in the headlights.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go on, you know. So I kind of, after a while, I thought, you know, I'm not cut out for this because the shit I want to do is too in your face for the type of person I am. You know, I didn't want to be hurting people's feelings. And this
No.
was before the whole PC thing really came in.
Yeah. But I think if you're
I
young,
felt it then, you know?
if you're young and you're more provoking than if you're getting older. I think that's the normal way it goes.
You don't care so much.
No, you don't care what people thinking. I mean, which is fair
I
enough.
definitely did.
But it is, like you already mentioned, it can hurt people too much, and some people they.
Well, the thing is, I'm not saying that it actually hurt them, but when I saw the reactions, I felt bad.
Yeah.
Like if I was doing it now, I think, you know, you shouldn't be at a comedy show if you're not prepared to hear some outrageous shit.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't think of it that way. I wasn't
sure.
that rational about it.
Yeah.
I am now. But I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter really.
Yeah, no, I feel the same. I mean, and the other thing is, you can keep your energy for a lot of different stuff, you know, and really, and then you realize, wow.
Plus, sorry.
Yeah, no. Plus what?
Well, I was just going to say that, you know, the whole thing about comedy is it's all designed to get like applause and everybody's like loving you.
Yeah.
You know, oh, you love my joke? Thank you.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
And it's all like kind of like you said about bread and circuses, and you're almost like a monkey with you're your own organ grinder, you know, and you're going, and here's another one. I hope you laugh at this one, because if you don't, my ego will be totally flattened, and I'll go home and want to kill myself. You know, like that's no way to live.
I would say, I mean, it is very difficult to keep the balance with things like this, you know, because how can you be critical and creative if it's just about that to please people, you know? So I mean, so
Well, that's kind of my point. Is I don't think if you want to be a good stand-up comedian who talks about real things or, you know, things that mean something to you, you can't care what the audience thinks.
do you still do stand-up comedian now?
I still do it on my own for my own.
In the night when your girlfriend said so, oh, you were speaking in your dream, and who was this girl in your dream? And it was actually a quite funny joke, and something like this.
No, I don't really try to do it much anymore.
Yeah, no, I can understand that as well. So, like I say, I mean,
I'd like to do it from time to time, like if it's just spontaneous with friends.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
when
no,
something,
yeah.
you know,
And
because you know the whole thing about comedy is you get wound up about some subject,
Yeah.
and then you talk about it, and it's fun talking about it. But when nobody laughs in a comedy club, it gets annoying. It's like, well, Jesus Christ, I thought this shit was hilarious. What the fuck, you know?
It's not very.
Surely it's not just me. I think it's you, sons of bitches out there.
It's not
But
very.
you can't do that either, because then you get eggs thrown at you.
It's not very
think you're a
coaching.
dick.
Yeah, great. Hey, Joe, I think it was a great talk. Our second round was quite cool. Thank you for having you here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm looking forward for the third part, and where we're gonna speak about his time in Hawaii and Joey as well. It's a radio station. It was probably before the podcast times. Yeah. Let's listen to it. Thanks, Joe. Take care. Ciao, ciao. Bye. This is a listener-supported show. I feel honored if you subscribe this show. You can follow me non-financial with the following click on one of my Instagram accounts, or subscribe the visual version of this podcast on YouTube via the link. If you like what you hear, be sure to tune in this Sunday for the third part of this ArTEEtude audio triptych. If you want to leave a donation for a coffee or a bus ticket, just follow the donation link via the ArTEEtude podcast. Eventually, I would like to thank, through this medium, all my members and listeners of the I Love West Cork Artists Network from all over the world. Just to remember myself that without you, this year couldn't and wouldn't happen.
You have listened to ArTEEtude, West Cork's first art, fashion and design podcast. ArTEEtude, never so close again. That was too close.